Hebrews. We ended last week about the apostasy, warning the Jewish believer of the apostasy of Judaism, of what they grew up in, and so on. And if my tie's too short, oh well, tough. So sorry. I'm not retying it, and I can't get this button to stay buttoned. Anyway, what would it be today? If it's not Judaism, what would it be today? What's the warning then? Especially for where we live. It's a ghetto. By the way, we live in a ghetto. Does a ghetto have anything to do with finances? In the end, it doesn't. It can. You could have a poor people make a ghetto. But we live in a ghetto. So what is the beware of? It's not Judaism here. It's what? Roman Catholicism. And so it would be the warning to a Roman Catholic not get caught up back into Roman Catholicism. But usually those that get out, they're glad they got out. They have every reason to get out, and they don't want to go back. And as a general rule, if they really get on fire for the Lord, they don't have to worry about getting out. The priest will kick them out. They'll kick him out. If he's worth any salt, he'll be like a bulldog kicking them out. All right, we went to the second page about that they are Christians, and the pronouns that are used, that Paul is lumping everybody together as we, brethren, and we, that it is directed towards Christians. Is there such a thing now in the society we live? These things do exist, but is it biblical? A Christian Jew or a Jewish, a Christian Jew. What's the term they use? By the way, you looked up that billboard. Who put that billboard out? Did it say?
Well, the donor was anonymous. I don't think they ever.
No, I don't mean the black and white ones from 1998.
Yeah, it did say. And I think it was kind of, we never seen most of that in something. I think it was kind of a Mennonite background because they were all no war, that kind of.
Oh, the conscientious objector.
It seemed kind of like that. I could be wrong, but it seemed more like that. But yeah, they were saying no entanglement with government.
Well, let's go there. Entanglement with government. I'll use myself as the victim here. So, and you said it was more Mennonite, and they brought up war?
I think so, yeah.
See, in the Mennonite group, it is called VS, voluntary service. Voluntary service still exists today, even though there's no war. And there's no draft. And they join what's called voluntary service. You join for 2 years. I'm pretty sure it's 2 years. And one of my men, they were Mennonite. We were in the Mennonite church, and he joined. And he left my place. He then came back, but he worked at a golf course. Then he worked there for 2 or 3 years. Then he came back to work for me. He worked for me for another 10 years. A long time. And then he had the key, and he went and he moved out to, where do the Mennonites on the East Coast, what's that called? Where do they move? Yeah, what is it in Pennsylvania? It's way out there. Lancaster. Him and his wife moved to Lancaster because her family was from there. And then he had the key. He had the key for another 10 years. I'd be driving in here, we drive by late at night, and the shop's all lit up. As he would go in there, he'd be working. After 10 years, I finally said, oh, you ought to turn the key in. Because he didn't work for me anymore. But he had access to the building. He'd be in there. That was kind of funny. You know, we all got along. But the conscientious objector thing is it's going against your conscience about whatever it is. What we normally think of knee-jerk would be the war or a war, the military. But you could do that with anything. And so preachers opt out of Social Security. And then and I called the attorney. There's an attorney here that deals with that. And I called him, and I had the ability to opt out. But I already put my quarters in, and it didn't go against my conscience. If government wants to give me money for all the money that I dumped in all those years, why should I turn it down? So we collect, but we know people that don't collect. We were downtown at TV8, and I brought that up to, I think he was the guy who was on guard. He was the guard down there handling the parking lot. And he was a youth pastor someplace out in Elyria. And Zach was with me. Our Zach was with me. And I brought it up. Well, I said, well, you're going to have Social Security. He said, no, not me. He's going to be a guard till the day he dies. A guard. And then my argument to that is, well, if it goes against your conscience, why didn't it go against your conscience before you got saved? Why wouldn't you opt out then? I mean, not before you got saved, before you became a preacher. Sorry about that. Because you were working all those other years and you were a Christian. Why didn't it go against your conscience and driving you nuts at night, keeping you up? I don't know. None of it makes any sense to me. I don't know. Does it make any sense? Am I off base here? I don't know. So that billboard that I had dropped off, who did I drop off? Oh, I didn't drop Ben and no, I dropped Ben and Kayla off. I dropped Ben and Kayla and the kids off, and I had their car, and I was driving, and I caught a glimpse of the billboard. It's a big one about not getting involved in the government. But all these churches that are involved with the government, it just goes contrary to all that. And the verse they used was, "My kingdom is not of this world." Well, that just kicks all that stuff that goes on out the door. We have one friend of ours. Let's say it's Memorial Day, and they bring in all the different, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. So they bring in the Coast Guard, and they march in. They're playing "God Bless America." And he would tell me, they march in, I march out. He just gets up and marches right out of the church. Because we really have nothing to do with any of that. Anyway. And why did I bring, I wanted to know who did that billboard. So you think it was Mennonites or somebody like that? Oh, no, I guess it's not important, but I think you got it narrowed down from their webpage of what it is. All right, it's written to a specific people that are well known by Paul. Don't feel led to look those up. The purpose, we did do this, that the purpose is that Jesus is better than the law of Moses. And I brought up the argument that it's like an attorney, and we learned in school that Paul goes step by step, especially in Romans, that there's a process that you probably, if you go to law school, they probably have a process of how to present your case in a certain order.
Moot court.
Pardon?
It's called a moot court.
What court?
It's called a moot court.
Newt?
Moot.
Oh, moot. M-U-T. Moot court.
Yeah, like a moot argument.
A what? M-O-O. I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's already practiced when it's
Yeah, it's a moot point.
Oh, M-O-O-D? M-O-O-T?
T.
I don't know. I wasn't very good at English. Moot? Well, it's a systematic way of doing what? Persuading the jury
Yeah.
of your case
And keep the judge at bay.
and keeping the judge at bay. If it's a liberal judge, or yeah, it's a system of persuasion, and they get this system of persuasion from the book of Romans, and it would be the same way here, where Jesus is better than. Jesus is better than. It occurs. It's the key word in Hebrews, and it occurs 13 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 9, 10, 11. I've got all 13 written down here. Listen, you can look it up in a concordance, right? It's chapter 1, verse 4, chapter 6, verse 9, 7, verse 7, 7, 19, 7, 22, 8, 6, twice, 9, 23, 10, 34, 11, 16, 11, 35, 11, 40, 12, 24. Better than. And then the 5 warnings. There are 5 warnings. It's directed towards the lost. These are the 5 warnings that kind of break off from Paul's argument. And he's basically is beware and take heed. It's chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, and they're listed there. Disregarding the salvation of God. I want to do one on that. How shall we escape if we neglect so great? How shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation? That is Hebrews 2. I believe it's verse 2. Verse 3. And I'd like to do a video on that. And that would be, the script is written out. A person's just driving a car. Somebody just drives a car. They drive by a church, and he looks at the church. You know, you find a church with a steeple. Everybody gets that. There's no mistaking that. It's a church with a steeple. You know, whenever you're searching and you're pretty much ignorant of everything, you're looking for a place that's got a steeple on it. Because, pardon?
Steeple is a pagan symbol.
Oh, it's a pagan symbol. Well, they have, they claim that Washington, D.C. is all the occult, all that stuff. The whole world is everywhere. And now they have these, on the History Channel, these pillars that just show up and so on and so forth. Wait. You got to look for the pagan symbol. You look for the pagan symbol, and then as you go through, there's got to be like 5 points in this. They'll say, well, I'll go next week. And then something else pops up. He said, well, I'll do that tomorrow. It's always tomorrow. He keeps putting it off till it's too late. How shall we escape if we neglect so great salvation? And it's for all those people that are putting it off. I'll go as soon as football is over. I'll always go. There's another day I can do this. All right. Do not miss the rest. Disregarding, disbelieving. This is an outline. Disregarding the salvation of God, disbelieving it, discrediting it, despising it, and disobeying. Look, there's going to be a big push to try to ruin your faith through your phone, computers. Now what's the latest? To ruin your faith. What's the latest? It's here today.
AI.
It's AI. It disproves God. It's going to try to, whatever it can do to ruin your faith. And there'll be something else. In early 70s, it was Hal. Who's Hal? He's the computer. 2001 Space Odyssey. Anything to ruin your faith. All right? The three-great appearance of Christ in chapter 9. The past, the present, and the future. On the cross, he's at the right hand of the throne, and he's in the clouds of glory. All right? And so here's the argument that's given. Better than prophets, better than angels, better than Moses, better than Joshua, better than Aaron. I'm sure all the better thans run together. There could be repeats of that. Better than the temple. Better. Jesus is better. And instead of losing all, the argument is this: instead of losing all, you gained all. You gained all. And the application, through the end, let us. All right, so the second coming is in Hebrews 10. We go there. This is before I got saved. We go to Hebrews 10. Hebrews 10. Seems like it was in there. Maybe it's Hebrews 11. No. Hey, just because the one that says, it seems like it's 25. Unless I'm thinking of a different book about the second coming of the Lord. It may be in another book. Anyway. Hebrews 9. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. We used to raise rabbits, and we would raise hundreds of them. And then I had one guy this is a black preacher, he was in charge of some Baptist association in Cleveland. He came in, I remember I gave him $25 once, or $50. He got in his van, and he honked the horn from the shop till he was out of sight. Probably that never happens. But he gave me his card, and that was his life verse. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come and will not tarry. That was his life verse. That was on his business card that he gave me. So I called him up. They would come out to the house. They'd bring 3 or 4 guys with them. It was a black church. And they would butcher the rabbits out, and I would give them the meat. But they never cased them. They said that's women's work. We just killed them and gutted them, and all the casing. They said, that's women's work, which means taking the hide off, the fur off. I said, those poor women have to do that. But we would give. And he was in the paper in the PD when that was still going, and he died in an automobile accident. He got in a wreck on I-90 and was killed. I think he was only about 65 when he died. Anyway, but it's about being better than. Now, the last page, unique things or important things that you just find that I pulled out here. By the way, the last will and testament is found here in Hebrews chapter 9. And a testament is only in force, and it states that when the testator is alive or dead? Dead. The one that makes a contests the will. In other words, there's a distant cousin that says, I want a slice of the action. And so he gets involved. Who would that be?
Modern Bible says.
Yeah, it would be Satan. He gets involved. He wants a slice of the action. So the only way to make sure he doesn't do it, the executor of the will then becomes whom? The one who makes sure that the will is carried out. You'll find this in Hebrews 9. When a will is made, there's somebody that's appointed. What's his name?
Executor.
He's the executor. So who becomes the executor? Jesus becomes the executor. And how does he do it? He's no longer dead, he's alive. He's coming back to make sure that the will has already been read. We have been invited where the attorney is that presents the will. The will is read off. We are joint heirs with Christ. Paul writes, all things are ours. We get everything. And so the devil intervenes and says, not so fast, not so fast. To make sure that the will is carried out, the executor of the will, who is dead, is alive now. He's coming back to make sure that it's going to be fulfilled. See, the idea is that we already are partakers in all this. It just hasn't been turned over to us yet. And we still wear a costume. We're not like he is yet because we haven't seen him yet. When we see him, we'll become like him and we will appear as sons of God. I think we're going to shine. We will be invincible. You can't shoot and kill us. They can pull out all the Tommy guns out they want. And see, part of the Geneva Convention, they outlawed the 50 caliber. I think they use a 50 caliber today. Why did they outlaw 50 caliber?
They allowed it to use on civilians.
Yeah, if you shoot, it cuts men in half.
I mean, at people.
In pieces.
You shoot 50s at machines and buildings.
Right, but not at people. That's been outlawed.
Yeah.
They can shoot you with a 50 caliber. They can use they were showing on Fox how an A-bomb is made, and they said it's a fission reaction, and then it goes to fusion, then fission, fusion. Now, I don't know how true that is, but fusion is the sun. That approaches the temperature of the sun. That's why they can't create a fusion reactor. That's why all that stuff's in storage. They put it in canister and store it. They hope to one day pull it out because it was done in a fission reactor where it separates. Fusion is joining it together. But it always reduces in its power. And so it goes fission, fusion, fission, fusion. They're showing that there's like 4 or 5 steps in this megaton A-bomb that's going to get dropped 5 of them and do all of the United States in, the whole kit and caboodle.
Well, I think what they do is they're squeezing together something like magnets that have a opposing polarity, and they don't want to go, so they have to light off some TNT to squeeze them together, and then that's when they get to critical mass.
Well, you have to hit critical mass. That I do know. And it has really nothing to do with this page.
It's really hard to squeeze them together.
Yeah, well, critical mass has not. We got off on that. I wanted to get to that 9th chapter, the testament. It's in effect because the testator liveth. And by the way, what time is it? Because I can't tell by that clock. Pardon? Okay, it's 10 minutes till. All right, sun-dry. I think at diverse places, sun-dry, diverse times, different times. The deity of the Lord Jesus Christ is stated there. The guardian angels are found there. They're at the bidding of our Lord. The power of death. Somebody had mentioned something recently that they were afraid to die, and I said, well, go to Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. That the one that has that power is done in, so that the fear of death is gone. And by the way, death is a gift. And when we die, when the little child looks in there, what does grandma look like? How does she appear? Sleeping. The sleep of death that's found in Psalms chapter something, verse 13. The sleep of death. What is that? Because that's what we really are. We are sleeping. Psalms 3, Psalms 13. Psalms 13, verse 3. Lest I sleep the sleep of death. And so all those people over there are just sleeping. You know, I wanted to do another one where about sleeping and death, and I forgot what I was going to say about that. I want to do another one where we draw the gate, the narrow gate. We draw a scene that actually exists. It's drawn on a big board. It's all drawn. You show it. Then it turns in. Ever see that in a movie? It's not a cartoon. It's actually a drawing. Then it turns into the actual actors. Yeah, right. I want to do that. I think we can do that. Now, I've asked somebody else to do some art for us over at the big church, and they said, nope, not doing it. So, yeah, I can't force people to do stuff. But they said they're not going to do that. They can't draw a person. Like if you were to sit there and pose, they do that, portraits, but they charge like $50,000, $50,000. I don't know. Are you in a position to spend that kind of money on a portrait? Anyway, but we did that, the IX, the fear of death, the two-edged sword. We now can come boldly under the throne of grace. Hebrews 4. Melchizedek, a type of Christ, is there in Genesis. Before Aaron paid tithes, for he was in the loins of Abraham. Anyway, it's what did you say? It was 10 minutes to. I'm going to review these here. Tithe means tenth. Where the word appears there, it means tenth. Now, we had one guy here that was, he said, people aren't tithing. People aren't tithing. On and on and on. And he was one of the counters. People aren't tithing. I'm not supposed to know anything about it. So people aren't tithing. They're not, and those people aren't tithing, and those people aren't tithing. Then he listened to the Almost Christian radio station, and he heard this guy saying that tithing isn't for today. Then he wanted the pulpit so he could preach a message on why you shouldn't be tithing. He went from tithing to not tithing. Folks, this stuff goes on all the time. He didn't get near that pulpit. I didn't. They flip-flop like a fish out of water. Flip-flop. He swear by himself because you can swear by no greater. Listen, when lost people get angry or surprised, what do they say? Oh my. What do they say? Oh my what? Go ahead, say it. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. They don't say Budweiser. Oh my Budweiser. Or oh my, pardon? Oh, they don't say oh Allah. Yeah, oh my Allah. They don't say those things. They don't say, oh, my Chevy truck. They go for the gusto. They go for the man that runs it all. That's what they go for, because it's in a man that they know who it is. Oh my God. They go, oh my God. So they swear by the greatest. And that's what Jesus does. Since he can't swear by any greater, he swore by himself. He makes this pact, he makes this oath, and he swears by himself because he can't swear by anything greater than that. That's why those verses are in there. And once they're explained, and those kind of things are explained, well, that's why they say that down at the bar. Is because lost people know it's just in them. It's just in them. They know what the score is.
I had a realization a few weeks ago. I heard somebody say, I think it's pretty common sense. They say, oh my word. Well, who's the word?
Yeah, Jesus is the word. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have a friend that does that. He says, oh my word.
That's old country.
No, I never heard her say it. Well, she says, oh my stars. But we have a friend that they'll go, oh my word, oh my word. What kind of swearing do we call that? We call that Christian swearing. Geez, oh man. Give me some others. Geez, oh man. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. All that stuff is nothing more than Jiminy Christmas. Jiminy Cricket, right? All of that stuff is nothing more than Christian swearing. That's all that is. They clean it up and makes it legal for them to do that. And they shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't be doing it. All that stuff. All that stuff. We'll get preaching here in 10 minutes.